Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, guess who's yawning now?
Ooh.
How about that?
Damn. Okay, come for me. Fuck. Jesus.
It's my routine. It's my way of clearing my energy for this.
Sure.
And you've taken that from me.
I'm cleansing the chakras right now. Giving everyone just a good yawn, so they all in two part can yawn themselves.
It's a good way to like start the energy of a 1 hour podcast to just like get the yawn out of the way.
Right. Yeah. Start getting sleepy now.
Right now. Yep. Yeah. Just shout out to that one person who told us a couple years ago that they fall asleep to this podcast. Because what the fuck? Hey, how are you doing?
Are you still here, by the way? Are you still sleeping? Have we crossed the threshold where we're no longer suitable to be to sleep to? I'm very curious.
How's the Adderall backorder doing for you? Because it's not going well for me.
Yeah, God, it is rough out here. It's
rough in these streets.
Ooh.
Hey, speaking of the streets, welcome into Twilight.
Oh, the streets. Into the Twilight, the streets.
We're out here in the streets.
We are out here.
How you doing?
I'm out here.
In the streets?
Always, yeah, I'm in the streets. I'm reporting live from the rat hole. I forgot to mention
your audio's great.
Yeah, thank you. I want to talk about a show. Okay, surprise, surprise.
Shocker.
Shocking. Oh my God.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. I watched television this week, can you believe?
Yes.
And I'm not going to talk about The Traitors because honestly, The Traitors is pissing me off. I gotta be real.
Oh shit.
I want to talk about a show that is similarly frustrating, but it is also a similar kind of show. So if you're feeling a hole in your heart waiting week to week, I have The Trust, a Game of Greed. And this is a Netflix production reality show where like the whole situation is there's 11 people to start in a house, and they're like, your names are going to be on this like financial trust, and you're going to like split it equally between all of you. So you each get like, $22,000 or something like that. And you could just vibe and just like hang out in this beautiful house for a couple weeks and then walk out with $22,000. However, they're like, what if though you could vote people off so everyone else can get more of that share? And it's only like, it only takes one person to vote for someone to go home. So like,
oh no.
So there's a lot going on. Yeah.
I did have to Google this twice because it was trying to show me the Nicolas Cage movie.
Sure. That's so fair. I'm glad that still has better SEO.
It looks like, from what I can understand here, these are regular people.
They are regular people. Except there are... most of them are like, they're there for a good reason, right? They're like, I need money. It would be very helpful. Like, I want to provide for myself or my family or like whatever. Except there's one boy, I should say, named Bryce. And I am obsessed with him because he is a 22-year-old real estate millionaire.
No.
Because his mom built a very successful real estate business in, I believe, Seattle or around there.
Already no.
Yeah.
No.
And so he's a real estate nepo baby.
I'm looking at a photo of Bryce right now.
Yeah.
Is it because he was not allowed in the sun? Because he's a fair little lad?
He is a ghost. An incredible thing that Nicole and I realized as we were going on a deep dive of this man, it's like, and who the fuck he is, and that a lot of people are not talking about, is that, hey, you remember Sandra Lee? You remember her?
Always. I never forget.
You remember the just a shot of vodka, and then it's a whole pour, the Kwanzaa cake with the comically large Kwanzaa candle stuck into it. You remember that?
Yeah, always.
You know when she like makes a drink and she's like, here's the alcoholic version, but for, I almost gonna make one for kids because Brycer can't drink alcohol.
No, stop.
You know who Brycer is? Brycer is Bryce from the Trust, and that is not brought up in the show once. The show is almost over. However, that is incredibly important information to me. And it's losing my mind that nobody's talking about this and the way and the scale and the rate that I want them to.
Does that mean that there's a possibility that Sandra Lee, controversial, quasi potentially has issues with alcohol, lives near me?
So here's the thing. Bryce is Sandra Lee's nephew.
Sure.
So she is his aunt. So it's possible.
Aunt.
And if you look up Sandra Lee and Brycer, you will see so many public Facebook photos of him as a child that are just there to see. And it's wild because it is incredibly so much the same man, the same person, and it's freaking my bean a little bit.
The first thing when you search Sandra Lee Bryce is an Instagram photo of these two out in what looks like Vegas.
Yep.
On August 2020.
Oh my god, I didn't even
August 2020.
Okay, the web is expanding even further. What?
August of 2020.
Yeah. Hey, man, maybe not. Maybe not the right time to go to Vegas, right? Probably not. Like, we were all kind of doing stuff. It's gotta
be Vegas. It's gotta be, like, I'm seeing, there's no geotag in sight, but it feels in my soul like Vegas.
Wild. Oh my god. So it's not even a happy thing, really. It's more of just a fixation I can't shake.
You've given me some great material
Thank you.
to look at today, and I appreciate, because now I'm gonna find his family.
Yeah, right. There's gonna be fun Instagram deep dives to go down. How are you doing, my dude?
Oh my god. Well, I'm feeling so energized now. You've given me so much energy.
I've given you homework to do.
You've given me homework, and there's nothing that I love more than people to look to deep dive on, because it gives me strength and power. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
My happy thing is also a happy scratched out thing. This
love
week,
this.
It brings me. It is, listen, all right, it's a happy thing, but the happy is in very strong quotes, because it brought me a lot of, it's beautiful, but it gave me a lot of heartache and pain.
Sure.
But that doesn't mean that I don't regret it, and I'm bringing it to a space and I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
I have not. I keep seeing ads for it, but I feel like I have an association with Matt Bomer that I think every show he's in is not real. You know what I mean?
And I fully agree.
Yeah,
I fully agree.
but I do know this exists. Hypothetically, this is a real television program.
All right, so my quote happy thing is Fellow Travelers.
Okay.
My only experience with Matt Bomer prior to this was the Magic Mike franchise.
Damn, you weren't on that white collar grind? You weren't in the trenches?
I wasn't. I wasn't. And I fully believed, and I forgot that he was in that before this. I fully believed that Matt Bomer was an NPC before watching this. Yeah. He was just like one of the same like 5 guys that looked the same. I was just like, you're not real.
Right. He's just a stand-in for any Ryan Murphy project at will if he needs. Yeah. Yeah.
I was just like, oh, you're that guy, right? I'm very similar to last week with Suki. I now know he's a real person. Yeah. This show, I cannot recommend it enough. Okay. Now, does that mean it's not going to be 8 episodes of you crying every time? No, you're gonna, it's very similar to, in a similar vein of like Interview with the Vampire. You're gonna hurt. It's gonna fucking rip your heart out. Sure. But you need to watch it.
Right. You're gonna love it, and you need it.
and you need it. And it is fully deserving of the accolades that it's getting right now. But I got a 1 month free subscription of Paramount with Showtime, because the curse was giving them out like fucking
Right.
candy. So
And that's the only way to watch Showtime now, because streaming is really cool and good.
And Paramount, I'm just going to say this. Hey, Paramount, your fucking UI sucks shit.
Garbage. It's garbage.
Wrecks my TV. My TV's like brand new. I got it 2 years ago. It's the only app other than Peacock that wrecks my TV. I hate you so much. Unless you pay me, and then maybe I'll talk about it like I like it. But it wrecks my TV. And I hate you. But it's the only way to watch Showtime, so that's fine. I knew fucking nothing about this show going into it. I only knew, I was like, oh, I love Jonathan Bailey, so I have to watch this.
Sure, that's fair.
I think that's the best way to go into it. However, I will say, for our audience's sake, maybe don't do it like I did.
Which is speedrunning it?
Which is going into it, which one is speedrunning it, and also going into it knowing nothing. Because homeboy talked about it in therapy for a couple weeks. So
yeah, well, that'll do it, huh? Yeah.
It is about two people who love each other, and very similarly to other things that have travel in it, it is a non-linear storytelling, which I'm gonna bring to the show.
Absolutely.
If it has non-linear storytelling.
Yeah.
But it is about two people who love each other very much, and it goes from the lavender scare to the AIDS epidemic in the 80s. And I didn't know that, so I was in a goddamn ball of tears for 8 episodes.
Sure.
So maybe just look into what is the website? Does My Dog Die?
Oh, yeah.
Before watching it, just to take care of yourself, because I didn't.
Right.
The only other thing I think is important to know is homegirl from, what is it? Us? I literally have IMDb up. Allison Williams is in it.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
And she is unfortunately so well cast. It's fucked up.
That tracks.
Everyone in it is very well cast. But it's very beautiful, and I love it a lot. You're going to cry, and you're going to love it, and it's going to be really painful. But I need y'all to watch it.
Okay.
Please and thank you. And I will say, if you took my recommendation and you watched Bridgerton, where Jonathan Bailey does a really good job of being dominant, and I'm saying that in quotes because homeboy loves to be a sub.
Sure.
He's the complete opposite in this, and has a lot of Catholic guilt. And oh my god, I wasn't expecting to be fucking slapped in the face with that. And it's beautiful and it's great. And now I understand why Matt Bomer gets roles.
Yeah, good for him.
He's good still for him. Doing it. He's not an NPC, so now I get it.
He's a real guy.
He's real. He's a real guy, apparently. So good job. Good job, guys. You did it.
Hell yeah.
You did it. Great job adapting a book and an opera. So cool. That's a thing.
Yeah.
We have a piece of current events this week.
We do.
It's a twofer. The first piece is a TikTok ? Unfortunately for annoying people like us, and also friend of the show, family, I would say.
Yeah.
Maddie, Nikki Reed posted on TikTok this week.
We are so back. Sound the alarms.
Yeah. It's not just Nikki, it's her husband, Ian.
This man.
They're kissing. They're kissing in this TikTok, but they're also like, hey, remember how we were at both in these vampire shows?
Right. I love, essentially what Nikki Reed did here is make her own fan cam, DIY style.
Literally.
And it's hilarious. I love it. Being like, oh my god, look at us. You remember? We were vampires. Here's a clip. And now we're gonna kiss. Ding. I love it.
Do you think she had to do it, right? You don't think that she had someone on her team make it? I think she definitely did.
I think she just spliced it in. Because they're obvious cuts, right? It's here's us standing and being cute or whatever. Here's a hard cut to us being vampires in our respective series / movies, and then
Yeah, she's
back
like, babe,
hard around to us kissing.
Babe, go get your leather jacket. Babe.
Right. We gotta do this for TikTok.
This. I want you to walk in this way, and I want you to come and kiss me, and then I'm gonna edit this. It's gonna be really cute, babe.
Just trust the vision. Trust the vision.
People are gonna eat this up.
Yeah. And honestly, not wrong.
And it showed up on my feed, so I mean, audience reached, I guess.
It worked, yeah.
It's fine. It's cute. It's great. Here's the thing, though. Mixed reactions, I will say, from the general public.
Sure.
One being that some folks are like, hey, Ian, remember when you did this thing to your wife a couple years ago? Because we've been on this show for a millennium now.
Right.
I don't remember if we talked about this in 2017. Even if we did, I think it's worth mentioning now that we are on the Vampire Diaries now.
Right.
There have been several folks who are sharing this TikTok being like, hey, Ian, you did this thing to your wife. That's not cool. Sharing specifically this piece from the Today Show in 2017 when there was news that came out where Ian had taken Nikki's birth control pills and thrown them away without her knowledge.
Ooh.
So we're going to talk about this for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll see you on the other side of it.
Right.
Your vibe. Because, hey, not my vibe either, but
yeah,
I think we got to do our due diligence here.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to talk about this show for a minute.
Right.
Again, it's been, 2017 was a long fucking time ago. I don't remember if we talked about this.
Right.
But the TLDR of this piece from the Today Show from 2017 by Julia Curley. Thank you, Julia.
Thank you.
Is they were on a podcast called Informed Pregnancy during this time. Mm-hmm. Ian shared that he threw away Nikki's birth control pills because they had decided that they wanted to get pregnant and have kids. She didn't know that he was doing this. It was not a joint decision. Mm-hmm. Nikki said, hey, no. And that was captured on video. Yeah. Naturally, her fans were like, have you heard of this thing? It is called reproductive coercion. Mm-hmm. That's
what this is. What's going on?
Nikki, are you aware of that is what's happening right now?
Yeah, that is not a fun and goofy little thing. That's
she comes
majorly
back
fucked up. Yeah.
With a really long statement. This is the whole story that they're telling on this podcast, according to this article. Coming back with saying, hey, this was all just that's a really strong thing that y'all just said. Mm-hmm. Don't twist my husband's actions. And says, this is a quote from her, women's rights matter. So please don't use false narratives to highlight issues that are truly important.
Yeah.
So, Nikki.
Hey, girly pop.
I agree. Hey, babe. I agree.
So with you. Right. Just from the jump.
We're on the same page. And are you good? Then and also now. Because I think that your reaction when you were pissed is valid.
Right.
And I know that you two right now, not in this article, but right now, y'all have 2 kids. Mm-hmm. So, are you good? Because I know that you just made this goofy, happy TikTok, but hey, babe, are you good?
Oof.
So, they were talking about it on this podcast. Allegedly, were oh wow, everything got taken out of proportion. Mm-hmm. Maybe. Or
there's a second option here.
There's a second option, which is maybe not. Mm-hmm. And that does not make me, that's not great.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what Homegirl's been up to since then. And maybe nothing. Maybe she doesn't want it. Maybe she's like, fuck it, I don't.
Live your truth, do whatever you want to be doing. But,
But did you choose that? Is that your choice?
Right.
And I don't... Ian, hey, where's my water bottle? Where's my spray bottle? Don't do that, homie.
Yeah. Well, bonk you on the head, dude. What the fuck?
Like, that's not... No. That was your character in the show, homie.
Right. That should be your real human self.
But I think that it is important that folks are bringing this back up. And also, if we are going to be talking about this show, to be like, no. Not that this whole show, we're talking about a lot of people that do shitty stuff, but, no. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I am hoping that there has been more information that has come out since then, that they are in a good place. But that's some gross stuff that's going on there, and I don't like it.
Not a fan.
Not a fan. Not great. Don't like it. I don't know about you, but I was very grateful for the recap.
Yeah.
This week with episode 16. I couldn't remember a goddamn thing that happened last week. A
lot of things, it turns out.
A crap ton, and I was very grateful to have a recap.
Yeah.
The main thing that I had remembered was that the Civil War guy got out. But right. I needed a lot of the recaps of like, oh yeah, there were other things that had happened that I needed to be reminded of. This week, there goes the neighborhood. I wanted to say with the recap, they didn't talk about Rick dying and then being alive, which I thought was going to be important, but maybe they're going to save that for next week.
Right. They're like, I thought that was pretty much the strongest thing that happened, but maybe
I thought we were going to kick that off with like, that's starting this episode, but they were like, actually, we're not going to talk about Rick at all this episode. So
let's just simmer on it. Let's just keep it in the back of your minds, slow burn.
Yeah.
For the Rick reveal.
Yeah. Apparently Rick doesn't matter anymore, which would be good by me, but whatever.
Yeah.
This episode 16, There Goes the Neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
I was, up until 20 minutes in, convinced this was a filler episode.
Yeah.
And was like, I think it's gonna be an easy recording. I think
right.
we're just gonna be able to tune out.
Right.
Just cruise on through this one.
Because it's like so much, it's like, oh, okay, Steph and Elena and Caroline and Matt are gonna have a double date. Ooh.
Boring.
Okay. Exciting. It's like, okay, you're giving us this instead of Bonnie once at all. Anytime.
Why is she still gone?
Is she missing? I'm gonna put out a missing persons alert. I am so concerned.
The only thing I can think of is like she is on like a medical leave for bereavement because of her grams. Oh, sure. That's the only thing that like I am choosing to believe that the writers are doing. Right. Because why would Stefan be enrolled back in school? Right. We have people actively in the halls of the school and Bonnie's not there. Yeah. Hello?
It's fucked up.
Where is she?
It's fucked up.
Yeah. I hate it. I'm so pissed. But like, there's so much. We had a couple episodes there where everything was like, it was like densely packed. Yeah. Where they were squishing stuff in. And then we have the first 20 minutes of this where I don't give a flying fuck about what's happening. Yeah. We have all of these Civil War vampires who are learning to acclimate in this new world. Mm-hmm. Cool. Why are we spending so much time on it? Right. And then the plans for this double date. I don't care. Right. I don't care.
Like, as much as I want Elena to have a normal day for once in her life, does it need to be half of the runtime of this episode of trying to do that?
There's a reason why shows like this do not talk about like school. Right. It's because it's not narratively engaging for an audience. Right. And then we also have a significant portion of this, even though I recognize that it does have a little bit of a narrative weight, where the three main adults, and I'm saying that in very heavy quotes here,
right,
of Tweedledee, Tweedledum, and Tweedle Vampire are all getting shwasted.
Yeah.
For most of this. None of these are narratively fun.
No.
Here. None.
No.
I don't care. And yet the first, I would say like 2/3 of this episode, here we are. Great. Thank you.
Right. Let's get to the juice.
Yeah, let's just stack the juice into the last 10 minutes of this. What?
Excuse me?
And don't get me wrong, there are tidbits, right? And I understand this is why I miss 22 episode pieces of television.
Right.
I don't mind a filler episode.
Yeah.
But it isn't.
Right.
It isn't a filler episode.
Yeah.
It's just all packed into the last bit.
Yeah. There's no sense of pacing that is good for anyone involved.
No, absolutely not. I want to know your favorite note that you took down.
That's a great question. It's gotta be the blood of Paula Abdul. That's gotta be the one.
Mine was also in that scene. I wrote down Brad Pitt changed me.
That's okay. That's also good. Listen, that scene was incredible because it's giving, obviously Bella looking up Google searching vampire because he's like on the forums and he's talking to, I forget the screen name, but they were both like lust for blood or something. It was like something like that. And he's like, hey, how do you what's the deal with vampires? Like, how do you turn one? How do you catch one? Like, what's the tea, right? And they're like all these different fake responses of like, oh yeah, you gotta get the blood of Paula Abdul, you gotta make a sacrifice. It's like, oh, this poor kid. Also, Jeremy rocking some like really cute like emo swoopy hair right now, and
He's
loving it.
He's so hot, it's fucked up.
I'm loving it. It's good. It's a good look. Also, his I am that's like, oh my god, are you a believer? Question mark, question mark. It's like, homie, you are on a vampire forum. You are chatting to a person who has like a very like intentional vampire username. Yeah, dude. I think you're talking to someone who believes in vampires.
Before that, when they're all trolling him, he does the quintessential thing that you do on a forum like that, which is he goes, serious answers only, please.
It's like, I'm not fucking around. You assholes.
I love him. I love him so much. Yeah. His storyline in this episode was so interesting to me. And not only am I so invested in Jeremy, and I'm incredibly happy that I'm wrong about him from 16 weeks ago, but I'm shocked that they have kept Anna alive this long.
Yeah, me too.
Because at this point I'm of two camps. I'm unsure if they are going to keep her alive a little bit longer to try and be like, oh, maybe Jeremy can have a lasting relationship. Like, let's see if this will drive his character development. Because I think that, like, why else would a side character be around this long, right? Yeah. Or are they going to do what I'm afraid of, which is Jeremy, everyone who's around Jeremy dies. And, like, solidify that core belief that he has of himself.
Poor guy.
And I'm so scared of that happening. And I don't know if it's going to happen, if, like, they're actually going to make this relationship between the two of them happen. And she's going to die this season. Or if they're going to try and, like, lengthen it out. Right. At all. But I'm very hesitant of trying to believe in this relationship because these writers have fucked me. Like, I don't have any faith in them at all. But I love that he is the one between Elena and him that has gone.
Yeah, it's like, take me, please. I want to be a vampire.
He's
so
like
bad.
so turned on by the vampire bites when I thought that was gonna be Elena.
I love it. Good for him. find your peace, man.
Of course he would be and I should have known, right? Because he's been the emo one from the jump, and that was like very Bella. But him mentioning at the end of this that he remembered Vicky and talked about her, rude, fucked up. How dare they? And then looking her in the face and being like, I knew you weren't going to kill me. And telling her straight up, like, I want you to turn me. I was like, Jeremy.
Man. Okay, go off.
Damn. But of course he would. Like, he had issues with substances before. He didn't have a reason to live, and now he, wants to be immortal. Yeah. And literally doesn't want to be alive anymore.
It's like, listen, what if I don't need weed? I need blood and eternal life, and also being a vampire. It's a pretty solid trade, I would say.
Maybe.
Right.
Maybe that will get me the love of my history teacher, you know? That scene between him and Anna,
because like he knows, right? And he's like, this is a test. I'm gonna cut my hand while I'm cooking or whatever. And she's like, he's like, oh, it's just blood. You good, right? You're good with blood, right? She's like, yeah, I'm so chill. I'm so good for sure. So good. Don't even worry about it. I am not doing like so the actually. Strawberry shampoo sniff of like, oh god. No. And he's like, do God. It. I know it. I know what's going on here. You can't hide from me. And then she goes in there, and it's pretty sexual, right? Because it's like, it's on his hand, like in his palm. She's slurping that up real quick, and it's like she's making out with his hand, very sensually.
He has the full.
Yeah, he's going full auga right now.
Looney Tunes heart eyes in that moment. And it's for the best that they didn't end up making those sandwiches, because it was just
you got to sterilize that whole thing, my guys.
In the kitchen after that point, it was nasty.
Yeah,
it was just.
And also, can we? I hate to be like
it was just nasty.
Hating on Jenna every single episode, but like,
I wish you would. I wish you would.
She's been really bad, but she's especially bad in this one, and I am worried about her now children, essentially. Like, I know that's not her, whatever, but like, they're her responsibility, right? Yeah. And she walks in drunk and is like, just you guys make sure you clean up in here and you lock up, all right? And it's like, can you please be an adult for once in your life? You don't even know what's going on here. You keep letting vampires into your home. Everyone's either gone or in danger or something at any given moment, and you are never here. Jenna.
Correct.
Yeah.
Here's my question for you.
Yeah. Miss ma'am.
Miss Jenna. Miss ma'am has no has no sense of awareness. Because when she starts, and I'm not aware of personally I don't imbibe in the sins of alcohol, because it is a sin, let's be honest.
Right. Yeah, welcome back to the Christian podcast of the Twilight. We love JC.
Oh my god, my boy.
Homeboy in the sky.
But here's the thing. Homegirl has no sense of awareness, because when she is like maybe 2 shots in,
right,
she is just solely focused in Kelly and Damon, and does not notice the double date that's happening. How are you so comfortable in your surroundings? You are a white woman in your like 30s-ish. How are you not a true crime girly? You should be fully aware that like everyone is out to get you, right?
Yeah,
like
full alert. Right,
exactly.
Where's the stranger
like,
danger?
Aren't you supposed to think that like you're gonna die at every second? I thought that was your demo, right? But she isn't even aware until Caroline is going to the bathroom that there are even other people in this restaurant, the only restaurant that is in this town. What do you mean that you don't know that your ward is in this restaurant? That you haven't talked to them, you haven't talked to Elena at some point today to know that she's going on a date in this restaurant? Hello?
Which makes me so mad.
And also, there is a point when she is showing the apothecary to Pearl and Anna and doesn't even notice that Jeremy is walking by in the town square.
Yeah.
Girl, what is your life like that you can only see like 3 feet in front of you? Do you need glasses? Is that the problem this whole time?
Right. Yeah, maybe she just can't.
Maybe that's the thing. Honestly, like if this whole thing could be solved by her just needing like contacts,
yeah,
that's an easy fix.
We can do that for you. Like that can happen for you, you know?
And the only reason that she doesn't die in this episode is because of Vervain. Who gave her that?
That's right. That's a good question.
And I'm glad. I'm not angry about it. But it's the only reason that she didn't invite yet another vampire into her home.
Yeah. She's like, I gotta actually draw the line at some point, right?
Because otherwise it's just a revolving door of vampires into the Gilbert house. Jenna, I want to believe in you. I've given you so many chances, and you've just beefed it at every chance.
Every single one.
You are...
It's honestly impressive.
Your kids, your ward, have just been running through the streets, and you're the one coming home the most fucked up. 2 messed up heels? Girl. It's like a Tuesday. Be better. I'm disappointed. I'm mad and I'm disappointed.
Yeah. God.
She pisses me off. She pisses me off, man. Also, do you think that Stefan and Damon are actually going to get another human to guard their house? Or are they just going to deal with no spidey senses this whole time?
Right. They're like, yeah, I guess this is just a thing that happens all the time now. It's like people are just going to be in here. They're just going to like walk in like they own the place.
I guess it's just the consequences of being the hot shit around this town, you know?
Hey, you know, happens to the best of us.
Fully love that, like, Pearl clocked that immediately. Was like, where's your where's your homeboy? Where's your uncle? You know what I mean? Why are you guys so bad at this? I did not realize, and I think it's probably because they haven't said it before, but, like, Pearl is 400 years older than Damon.
Right.
There
she
haven't
knows her way
been
around
many.
the
I
block.
think there's less than on one hand of like actual nasty moments in this show. The part where she stuck her fingers into Damon's eyes was legitimately gross.
Yeah, no thank you.
Because she knew it wasn't going to kill him, but it was an absolute inconvenience.
Yeah, it's gonna make him and me.
And I love that a lot. And absolutely correct. Yeah. Correct. Yep. What do you think their, like, end game is?
It doesn't seem
Pearl
good, right? Like, because that's even what Damon is being like, you guys aren't serious, right? Because their whole thing is like, it's time to bring the town back. This used to be ours, and they've taken it from us. And it's like, okay, I see the parallels that we're trying to do here, for sure. However, you are all vampires. I don't think that's, like, an easy heist to do.
No.
Even though there's many more of you than there were. There's still, like, what, 30? You know? At max.
Right.
I don't think that's, like, gonna work for y'all. And also, why? What do you want from that? You know?
Well, and even if it does end up working, right? 30 people, 30 vampires in this town. You're gonna run out of humans.
Right? Like...
So what's your, like, literally,
what is your literal 5-year plan? Like...
I need you to show me charts and visuals immediately, because I don't understand what your goal is. Even with the Volturi, right? It was a 4. It was a 4 people that led it, right? It still didn't. They had to be hella conspicuous there, And it still didn't really work, ultimately. So I need you to try a little bit less, or I need you to show me that, like, your end game is that y'all split up around, like, the continental US or something. Because you already have people like fucking Fred, who's like, you can't control me. I don't understand your technology. I'm just going to go into this grill, call people by their doppelgangers' names, and then die.
That's what I'm providing.
Right. That's my whole deal. Here's the thing, though. I am still very enamored by Harper. And I know that he's a vampire, but I do love him.
He does got a little something.
He's just got, like, he's got the charisma, and I am going to be sad if he does end up dying. Because I think that right now, I'm rooting for him more than I'm rooting for Elena and Stefan's relationship.
Yeah.
So
right. And he seems like, he seems chill, right? Like, compared to all the other vampires, he doesn't really have, like, a vendetta that we know of yet. He's not really looking for anything. He's just kind of, like, here because of the circumstances that happened. And it's just like, okay, I guess I'll just figure this out, like, on my own.
Yeah, he didn't ask for this, but he's still just, like,
right. He didn't ask to be reborn, you know?
Right. And he's just trying to understand it. And I think that that's beautiful. In addition to this being for the most part a filler episode, I hated this double date.
Like,
watching it was a punishment.
It felt so, like, painful. Because it's like, obviously this isn't gonna go well. I think they just needed to remind us, and me specifically, because I did forget that Elena did date Matt. It was just like, okay, I guess we really gotta hone this in that there's gonna be beef because Elena's with Stefan now and Caroline's with Matt. It's like, okay, I got it. Thank you. It's awkward, and like we're gonna talk about how we used to make out in this sports car. Ha ha. And Caroline's gonna be sad because she's always second choice, and it's like, okay, I understand your emotions and your feelings here. I'm bored to tears, though. I'm bored to tears.
True. And it's not great because Caroline is the one who suggested it. And we know it's another one of her tests. But we know it's not going to end well, especially because the double date is happening at Matt's workplace. It's happening in front of his mom, Elena's aunt, and Stefan's brother, where Damon is trying to hit on Matt's mom and be like, ooh, look what I can do with these cherry stems.
Right. Yeah, come on.
Which is not great. And Caroline is just getting more and more jealous by the memory that, like, Elena and Matt are friends. Right. They grew up together. They have history. And so when they are around, they are good friends, but that doesn't mean that they want to be together. But she has a lot of insecurities and needs reassurance, and Matt is a fucking gold retriever.
Right.
Thankfully, though, like, when they do go to that secondary location, he does get distracted by cars, which was helpful for Matt, and less so for Caroline, because she does finally, like, say what she needs, which is, like, Elena, you're always going to be the first choice. And she's like, oh my god, what?
Oh my god, I can't believe you'd say that. What do you mean?
Here's the thing. They had mentioned this before when Pearl was talking to Damon about the vampires. She said, like, not all of them from the tomb had made it back to the house. She said some had, like, already left and some were still in the forest. When Caroline and Matt ended up driving into the forest to, like, take the car for a drive. Yeah. And this is when I want to thank the music team because they played Parachute. I fucking love Parachute, so thank you for your service. Yeah. But I fully expected that this was when one of the, like, rogue tomb vampires was going to come out.
Yeah.
Because why else would you mention that?
Right.
But they didn't.
Yeah, seemed like a proper moment for that, but I guess whatever, writers, you do what you want to do.
Yeah, maybe they're just saving that for later. But Caroline was like, okay, fine, I won't give you any more tests today. Mm-hmm. And then they kiss and it's fine. I just don't care. I don't care about Caroline and Matt. I don't care about Elena and Stefan.
No.
I don't care.
Yeah. It's a double whammy of snooze fest.
Right. The only interesting part was, unfortunately, when Damon brought Kelly home. I don't care about them. It was just a moment of tension that was interesting.
Right. At least there was some drama. At least there was something to be like,
right,
potentially gasp at. Or at least be alert about.
Exactly. It got a little bit more interesting when there was actually like a fight in the house.
Right.
But that's just more so of reminding me that these two brothers don't have spidey senses.
Right.
And it would have been helpful for them to have that from an evolutionary perspective.
Right.
And why don't... It doesn't make sense.
They have every other thing. Every other vampire thing.
Right.
And fun new ones. And they don't even have some sort of... Just like your hair standing up on the back of your neck or something, you know? Any signal?
How do you not
Any
know
biological symbol of that?
How do you not know that Fred is like out in the trees on your property staring at you?
Right.
Why don't you know that? It's embarrassing.
Yeah. Oh, God.
But I did think it was cute from like a sibling perspective that Elena and Jeremy at the end of this were like brushing their teeth. Mm-hmm. And these two have vampires in their lives.
Yeah.
Elena Prob will be a vampire at the end of this, just like legitimately. How else is this going to end? And Jeremy is on his way to, but they're not talking to each other about it.
Right. They got their own internal. They're like, that's not really teeth brushing time talk.
Right.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
But it's very
I do love the idea, though, that, like, what if Elena does play the long game and she actually just, like, does not? She just, like, she's edging the whole time and she never does it. You know what I mean?
I mean, hell yeah.
It's so funny. I know that's not what's going to happen, but it would be incredibly funny.
This whole time. Like, and she could have.
She's like, no, I'm good. I kind of like aging. I kind of want to.
She was like,
I don't really want to be 17 forever. You know, that sounds kind of miserable. Y'all have fun though, for sure. But I'm just gonna do me. You know.
I mean, I think that that's beautiful and powerful. So I love that for her. I'm hoping that next week is not a filler episode.
Yeah,
and even
there's
if it
some
is,
plots
just,
we need to get back to. You know, there's so many. So many things I need to focus on, get some more clarity on.
Right.
Even
if we don't get Rick anymore, that's fine. I just want
I do know that if we ask for Bonnie, though, she's gonna come back and just have like the worst experience of her life. Like it's gonna be like the most traumatic episode ever. So it's like it's a double-edged sword. But I miss her. God.
I miss her so bad. Next week's episode is called Let the Right One In. And this, could you tell me a little bit more about this photo that we have for next week's episode?
I love it. Jeremy is in his angsty texting phase. I love it. His text from Jeremy, presumably to Anna, that says, "Turn me, and I will." Pop, pop, pop. I also love this. There's so much nostalgia for this exact kind of phone, too. With, like, the little side keyboard.
Ugh. Texting hasn't been good since...
God.
There was romance back then.
There was romance, there were buttons. It was a good time.
It just... Someday I would love to get back to being able to text that way, but alas.
Yeah.
We have some amazing patrons that I would love for us to thank. Will you start us off?
Absolutely. Thank you to Sean Salvatore.
Ooh, thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Pew, pew. Thank you to Katya Karp.
Ooh, thank you to Ashlyn Vogel.
Pew, pew. Thank you to Maddie Facinelli.
Ooh, thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Ooh, thank you to Danielle Burke.
Ooh, thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ow. Thank you to Dan Sacklos.
Ooh, and last but certainly not least, thank you to Emily Ozera.
Pew, pew, pew.
I I have a fan fiction for you.
Okay.
This is this is by the author Vix Leonard, and the title is from a favorite Florence and the Machine song called "My Boy Builds Coffins."
Amazing.
The summary is: Elena thinks she's the one who is cursed, but every woman Jeremy has ever loved has died. And every time Bonnie smiles at him, he wonders when he'll have to say goodbye to her too. There's no chapters in this. The problem with Damon compelling all of his pain away is that Jeremy always wondered if the choices he made afterward were his choices at all. Anna was one of those choices. If Damon hadn't compelled away the stinging pain of losing Vicky, Jeremy doubted he would have entered into a relationship with Anna. He had wanted to be a vampire, to reunite with Vicky, had tried to use Anna to make it happen, but sleeping with Anna, falling for Anna, Jeremy was never quite sure how much of that was him and how much of that was the boy Damon created. Jeremy doubted how much he loved Anna, but he never doubted how much he genuinely liked her. Vampire aside, Anna was funny and smart and honest. You never realized how much you wanted honesty until everyone started lying to you. After the first time they slept together, they had laid side by side, Jeremy's hands lazily traversing the smooth, unblemished skin of Anna's body. Her body was so different from Vicky's, so much smaller and seemingly more frail, but Jeremy had the bruises to prove just how powerful Anna was. Anna loved him. Jeremy didn't doubt that. Is Pearl really your mom? Like, did she give birth to me? Anna asked for clarification. When he nodded, she shook her head. No, my real parents died when I was 14. How? The Taiping Rebellion. At his blank nod, Anna sighed and playfully jostled him. Don't they teach you anything in school? I wrote a paper on vampires. What do you think? End scene.
Bum, bum, bum. Cute. Okay.
So, there's, it seems like there's some pain ahead for you
right.
in that fan fiction, because why the hell else would you use that Florence and the Machine song?
Right. That's ominous. And
but if you enjoy some pain, enjoy that fan fiction.
Hey, hell yeah.
There's no better time to tell your friends about the show.
Yes. Come join the party.
Come join the party. Come join the streets. I will say, in addition to that, there's never been a better time to join our Patreon, because next week we have a new bonus episode coming out for this month. And I'm very excited to talk to you all about that bonus episode. So please do. Yes. Please join.
Hell yeah.
Well, fam, friends out here in the streets, as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
get bit.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Into the Twilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.